It is Liverpool. Oh my God, the Red Giants, they have got this defeat. My eyes couldn't believe this, that Liverpool in such a tremendous form, winning 24 of their games. They have got their defeat, and that too. It is Tottenham who has defeated this. I mean, how could you just imagine that Arne Slot's men are going to get those defeat at the Hotspur Stadium against Tottenham, because they had got that massive 6-3 win against Tottenham before Christmas. And yes, it was Athletic Club against Barcelona in the Super Cup semi-final, where Hansi Flick's men have got a double booster. I mean, the registration of Dani Olmo as well as Pau Victor is for a temporary basis being given by the Spanish courts. And yes, this registration is being held with some temporary clause into it, and they are successful, as well as they have got their final berth in the Super Cup final. I mean, Real Madrid against Mallorca, it is going to happen tomorrow. And yes, it is much predicted that Real Madrid and Barcelona are going to face on January 13th, the final of the Spanish Super Cup. But this video is all about the Carabao Cup semi-final, where Liverpool just went to the Hotspur Stadium at London to face Tottenham. And yes, Tottenham just went into the semi-finals by defeating Manchester United, and Liverpool came by defeating Southampton. Whereas on the other hand of the semi-final, it was Newcastle and Arsenal losing by 2 goals to Newcastle at their home of the Emirates. This was the first leg, and Liverpool losing to Tottenham by 1 goal, and yes, Newcastle winning against Arsenal with 2 goals. Liverpool has much work to do, but let us jump into the aspects what actually happened into this game and what led to Arne Slot's men, Elon Musk men. What? Liverpool is being bought by Elon Musk? How could you just imagine that? No, that is a fake rumor which is just spread across the internet, and you don't have to believe in that. But Liverpool, Arne Slot's men, the Anfield, the Reds, how could you just imagine? Because the pair of legs being played, the next will be at Anfield. Just have a look at this lineup from Liverpool. It was Bradley, Concha, Van Dijk and Tsimikas in the centre backs. No, that wasn't Alexander-Arnold. There was no Ibrahima Konate, and there was not even Robertson for the defensive lineup of Liverpool. In the midfields, it was McAllister, Gravenberch, and yes, Mohamed Salah. Jones not having that performance. Jones is being picked by Arne Slot time and again. And yes, Gakpo was there, but it was Diogo Jota. Darwin Núñez wasn't chosen. Neither Luis Diaz was in the starting lineup from Arne Slot. I mean, Liverpool with this lineup, how could you just imagine? It was some sort of setbacks against Manchester United in the Premier League, where my predictions were that Manchester United were going to win it, but somehow it ended in a draw. And here also my predictions were quite true, but just have a look at the Tottenham Hotspurs lineup. It was Son Heung-min, Solanke as well as Kulusevski. In the forwards, they had got Bentancur, Bissouma, Bergwijn, as well as the likes of Spence, Gray, Dragusin, Pedro Porro, and their new goalkeeper Kinski was there. I mean, Tottenham Hotspur, talking about their injuries, they have got Davis, Romero, Udogi, Foster, Vicario, Mickey Van de Ven, Richarlison, Wilson, Odobert, so many players injured. But yes, Liverpool were just having Dominic Szoboszlai as well as Joseph Gomez, the centre back, were absent due to the injuries. But it all started with an early goal opportunity for Tottenham in just 3 minutes. It was Son Heung-min who could have just scored, but then just in the 5th minute, it was Bentancur. I mean, to talk about this Uruguayan player, Rodrigo Bentancur, I mean, he just collapsed on the field and he was taken by a stretcher to the hospital. I mean, what are the updates about Bentancur? I would be eager to have a look of it and hope of some kind of speedy recovery for this player Bentancur. And Postecoglou, talking about the injuries which he is getting. I mean, just look what Tottenham Hotspur has been doing in their fixtures. They lost to Newcastle at home, they draw against Wolves at home, and yes, they lost Nottingham Forest. They had a huge loss to Liverpool before Christmas. They had a loss to Chelsea, drawing against Rangers. They lost to Bournemouth, draw against Fulham, and in the Europa League, they drew against Roma. But it was Tottenham who defeated Manchester City, and after that was the downfall of Pep Guardiola's man. I mean, the bald-head managers getting those losses against Tottenham, and their downfall is on the exponential curve. And it is Liverpool finally getting the loss against Tottenham Hotspur. So is Arne Slot getting those exponential downfall, or is he going to build up the team strong? Because after the 5th minute, Bentancur getting those injuries, it was again the likes of the centre-back Concha from Liverpool. He also got those injuries, and yes, Wataru was the man who substituted Concha, and on the other hand, it was Brennan Johnson substituting Bentancur onto the fields on the 15th minute. The game was held for at least 10 minutes because of these injuries. And yes, in the first half, both the teams were looking decent. Tottenham were making those counters which were sluggish, which were slopish, not some good clinical finishings to it. There was some kind of dull moments up to the first half, but in the second half, it was up to the 60th minutes. Both the teams were not looking that good, and yes, some sort of characters. If you talk about Arne, if you talk about Postecoglou, the injury-ridden team which he was playing, I mean, it was just a stalemate for Tottenham to get any sort of victories over here. It was just their home advantage which they were getting. Neither Son Heung-min was looking in form, neither Solanke was looking in form, neither Kulusevski was up to mark to play those 90 minutes good. I mean, all the Tottenham players were not looking so efficient and so good, and time and again, the big chances which they were getting, they were missing it. But yes, the defensive aspect of Van Dijk was looking tall, and yes, he had those saves. Yes, Alisson was also making those saves, but the combination of Mohamed Salah, who is on the verge of contract ending this summer, as well as the likes of Robertson, the likes of Arnold. But much of the worries because Arne Slot, what he has done to this team, I would say he has done nothing, because it is Jurgen Klopp, the efficiency and his management which has built this team for the past 7 to 8 years. It is Arne Slot who hasn't got those characters in Jones. Gakpo, at times he can be seen. Diogo Jota, not at all. Mohamed Salah, yes, definitely he is. Luis Diaz was also there, but in this half of the season, Luis Diaz is also not looking that good. Talking about Bradley, it was just a mediocre performance. But yes, Tsimikas was the player. I mean, such players, Liverpool can be having that left back future with this Tsimikas on the left back. And according to me, it was Van Dijk and Tsimikas who were doing good. But it was just on the verge of the 70th minutes where Dominic Solanke gets a pass from Pedro Porro. Pedro Porro was the man who was doing good. Dragusin was giving his best. Archie Gray was the man who was pairing with the Dragusin. And yes, Pence was really man marking Mohamed Salah too good. He was not giving those spaces to Mohamed Salah to cut into the box, neither to the wings. But this goalkeeper, Kinski, was tremendous. I won't say that he did a good job, but man of the match being awarded to him, because it was the lack of clinical finishings, the lack of composition, lack of fluidity from the Liverpool forwards, and this was giving the opportunity to these young players to perform their best. And yes, that is what happened on the 70th minute. It was some kind of VAR given. Dominic Solanke's goal was ruled offside, and just 86 minutes, it was the likes of, well, what a moment that was into the box, and no one could have expected that. Yes, Bergwijn was making those whole player box-to-box movements into the box of Liverpool and scoring it. That was the downfall. Liverpool got the opportunities inside the box to score many goals, but they missed, as well as Tottenham getting those big chances but not being that clinical, and yes, missing it. My predictions for this game in our live stream was that of Tottenham winning it by 2 goals, and all my money was at stake for the Hotspurs. And yes, I won it big, because Liverpool, every time for the past 25 years, I have seen this team playing so good in the first half of the season, and in the latter half of the season, they are just exponentially downgrading. Since so many years this team has done, it has got those laurels, it has got those legacies, but then also this is that moment which Liverpool faces every year in the second half of the season. And this also led, because there were the substitutions of Wataru Indo, who was made to the centre backs. Arnold was called up on the 60th minutes. Nunes as well as Luis Diaz were called up. Ibrahim Konate was brought in on the 80th minute. That was something disheartening from Arne Slot, because if you talk about the character build-ups, where is Federico Chiesa, where is Elliott, and what is the character development of the new players which Arne Slot has done? Because it is the downfall which Liverpool is going on, and it is for Arne Slot to bring this team back into the form, because this team has defeated AC Milan this season, they have defeated Real Madrid, they have defeated Leverkusen in the Champions League. This team has been performing so good, but if this is the lack of composure for this team, I don't think that again you can stop Arsenal from winning close to the Premier League table on the first spot. Or is it again Manchester City riding back on the dark horse of Pep Guardiola and getting those leagues? What are your predictions about the matches, about the knockout of the semi-finals? Arsenal against Newcastle and the second leg, where Arsenal are going to travel to Newcastle. Will they get those big wins of more than 2 goals? And on the second leg of Liverpool and Tottenham, where the Hotspurs will be traveling to Anfield to face Liverpool, or Liverpool are going to get those big wins of more than 1 goals? What are the finals of your predictions? Do tell us in the comment section. But yes, on the other hand, it was Barcelona and winning it against the Athletic Club. And yes, Hansi Flick has dedicated his team. I mean, the Flick side receiving a boost from the game, with Spain's National Sports Council permitting the club to provisionally register Dani Olmo as well as Victor for the rest of the season. It will be a huge boost, because in the next game, they will be definitely facing Real Madrid in the finals of the Super Cup. And yes, Barcelona is really just escaping those narrow defeats against Barbastro. It was a 4-goal win. Against Atletico Madrid, they had a loss at home, and Leganes also, they had a loss. Dortmund, they won it good. But yes, Las Palmas and the likes of Real Sociedad is also the worry for Hansi Flick men, because Hansi Flick placing those high centre back lineups is much amazing, as well as fascinating for the Camp Nou fans. I mean, the Barcelona fans as of now, because Camp Nou is not yet ready. But to play those 90 minutes the whole season, With such a young squad, do you think that the whole squad of Barcelona will be permissible to play through without any injuries? That is definitely a concern. And yes, the Spain manager Luis de la Fuente must be worried of not getting much players injured before the 2026 World Cup. So yes, that was all about this night, which we had a watch along, as well as on our live streams we had those predictions. And yes, before ending this video, do have a look of all our videos on our different social media platforms. All the links are given in the channel description as well as in the video description. So before ending this, give us those like, share and subscribe. Bye bye guys, keep going.